YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Justice coming at y'all with another YouTube read, another collective energy read. Hope this finds you guys at a clarifying time of your day. Remember to take a resonance and please leave the motherfucking rest behind. Let's go and get started. I appreciate your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. Let's go and get started. Angels of the highest to white light, most high, please bestow upon me clear and concise channel messages for my collective needs to hear today. Thank you, and Ashe. Whoever this is for, you have past lifetime soul royal history here on this planet that you may not have completed, or there could be in like a add-on, so to speak, for lack of better words. So like a modification or an add-on kind of, but what I'm saying is for some of you, it's going to apply in something different. So for a lot of you guys, not a lot of you guys, but for those whom this applies to, it doesn't apply to everybody. But a lot of you guys have unfinished soul history. That could be karmic cycles. That could be steps you didn't get to that was planned for you in a different life. This could be, certain aspects that you did get to in a different life that is you're taking the next step in this one. A lot of you guys are very aware of your soul history, but not where to really pinpoint it. I'm starting to do reads on those things specifically for anybody that is interested in that. But there's something about you have soul history that is to be completed in this life that is so basically a spin over. A lot of you guys are going through certain recollection of things that you've experienced before, so your soul could be relative to it, your soul could be triggered by it, your soul could be excited for it, your soul could have an indication or some type of signal toward it, whether that's a good or bad thing, but it's usually signaling from something you did before, a recollection of something that you didn't finish before, or something that you're adding on to this time. It could be anywhere in between those lines. But the last part of the general message was, the part about, this is why a lot of you guys have a lot of narrow paths. I like to call it a narrow path. When you're walking with a certain mission that you're specified to be here for, whether that's a time or place, whether that's a generation, whether that's kids that you're here to inherit, whether that's land, whether that's some type of money calling, occupational calling, to be in the spotlight. Those are usually decided way before, as we all know about this damn system, right? And so a lot of times you guys are walking this trailblazer walk because you're here to define something, redefine something, defy something, or develop something in the interminglings of resistance or trauma, or, a lot of you guys have gone through these, when you're walking an independent line or whatever that independency represents. It doesn't have to be occupational. It could be, in terms of spirituality, views, concepts, and relativity to family members, friends, associates, things like that. But a lot of you guys have had the end of what comes with this, right? And so a lot of things come with it in terms of not everything's in your face, not everything's able for you to just walk down and go get it. Not everything is, basically metaphorically speaking. That could be physically represented as well, but a lot of you guys have walked in a certain way and may have questioned or wondered, like, I have a different read for this. Like, why is my experience so unique compared to other people's experiences? Why am I going through this and it seems like nobody else is going through this, or somebody else is not, or the people around me is not. I got to move environments, move situations, friend groups, they're not, I feel like I'm not clicking with people, and this is kind of that narrow path I speak of. You understand things, but that low key in your head, if you were to say it to that close relative, that close friend, that girlfriend, that boyfriend, that cousin, that they may not understand it the same way, 404. And so a lot of you guys have had to, take a certain level or develop a certain level of resilience along this path in regards to how you're able to go at what it is that you're spiritually going at, or maybe physically, that has to be kind of like, in a way, secreted for your own either sanity, safety, or your own space, right, of independence, in whatever way that presides, right? But a lot of you guys have had these different, awakenings or mass awakenings to maybe certain fucked up things, betrayals, traumas, that kind of separated your life in a certain way, or 444, or let's say divinely detoured your life away from maybe something that was planned for you outside of God's reach, or whatever that is. And when I say outside of God's reach, I'm saying in a land, or metaphorically, in a land that is not really, of His, right? Is what I'm saying. And so a lot of you guys have had to take sacrifices, whether that's, sacrificing your time, your energy, or maybe like this normal type of stability or normal type of situation that people would expect you to be clinging to. In regards to that, a lot of you guys have had to shift that into what you could make it to be, or independently, or something that was sufficient for the life calling that you've been called to. A lot of you guys have had to have trial and error in a lot of ways. And a lot of things that come with this path are directly correlated back to a narrow walk that connects you closer to God, or closer to your source in regards to what's your higher calling, right? And so keeping that instability, or keeping the vision or the intuitive connection to that pathway, it's not so easy. A lot of you guys know it's really sensitive. It's a very narrow path for a reason. But saying that to say, I just wanted to get a kind of overview over what I was getting into. A lot of you guys have past life soul history that is royal, or some type of leadership, or some type of council, judge. I talk to a lot of judgment angels, that may not even be reconciling in all the full totality of their power. And what I'm saying, with the lack of fancy words, because I channel and shit, I really don't talk like that, but it's funny. But it's just channel. But what I'm saying is, a lot of you guys may not even have the full development or activation of what all you can do, because those experiences, those resistance points, they keep being shown to you to kind of show you your power. Sometimes God chastises you in funny ways. We all know that God's really funny. A lot of you guys really talk to God. A lot of you guys really have a connection or understanding of what those spiritual realms are like, in regards to not just conspiracy theorists or shit like that. You understand truth. And so when you're with God, you're in a frequency of truth. And so a lot of times your path can't really jurisdict all of this contamination from other angles, whether that's your mama, whether that's your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your children. A lot of times that contamination doesn't fit into the space. And so there's a lot of detourings, or things that happen. When I say detourings, generalization for what really happens: conflict, calamity, breakouts, fallouts is what I was looking for. Whether that's on an occupational level, relationship level, or, a social level, or a spiritual level. These things are usually put in play for you guys, and it's not usually so understood along the way until hindsight, right? Till you're looking back at it. And that's why, because the detouring is something that's supposed to put you in a space, even if you don't got the money at that time, or you got to build towards something else, or you got to do this, and it may be out of your arm's reach, it may be out of the way, but it's something that keeps you closer to God, or closer to your mission, 808. And so that's where the fruit is. 808's an omnious number. 811 is too. They're both karmic in registration, but they can mean so many different ways, especially what I was thinking, like a portal. An 8's an infinity signal. What comes up, what comes around is going to come back around and down, right? And the 1s always can represent a portal to newness, a portal to whatever that is that you create. It's like a creation space, but that's what I concur the 0 to be concur. I don't even say that shit. But whoever I'm tapping into, there's something about activation of past life soul memory that you can do yourself, that I will tell you. A lot of you guys are tapped into your spirit intuitively, tapped into your spirit guides or your spirit ancestors, but that's where you need, because they know who you are. And that's a powerful activation message for somebody that I'm tapping straight into. Like, it's going to hit for somebody. In terms of you awakening the kundalini, it's not about these specific things. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. But what you need to do is sit in meditation or connect to the spirit, right? And literally give the bestowing revelation through God or through your ancestry, because they'll know who you are, which is why they take to you and walk with you and protect you the way they do. A lot of you guys may not even have the information fully to you yet. A good niche of you I'm talking to that do. There's something about activation of your gifts from a past lifetime. Remember, everything on a quantum experience is connected. So that means on a different level, everything is quantumly, if that's a word, on a quantum level, everything is existing simultaneously at the same time, because all you have is the present moment. You can't define that. That's all those memories have, is the present moment. That's just something, just random rabbit hole. But saying that to say, a lot of you guys have activations coming in regards to what that represents in correlation to this life. I've had these awakenings for the past probably 5 years in regards to dreams, just different things were related to me, people acting a certain way to me, and then I start to read it before it happens. And I'm wondering why I'm reading it before it happens, but it really comes from a past life history that jurisdicts the same shit, right? And so I'm finishing off soul, maybe karma, maybe soul history, or maybe a chapter that I couldn't finalize in a different one. A lot of you guys are tapped in on that level to where you can tap in to the point that you can complete certain things that you may not have before, because all it does is spill into the next one. And that's what energy does, because energy cannot delete itself. You cannot create energy. It can only transition, right? And so there's something about a lot of you guys moving in a certain way that is powerful or is felt to be powerful by others, whether that's a good thing in the eyes of others or not. But what your impact can do, or your voice, or something that you step in, or something that you feel passionate about, especially, is something that you're called to from your soul, especially. And so a lot of you guys can transfer or infuse or create or cultivate your power through some of these passionate things that are either outside of you or inside of you that you can do to create outside of you, if that makes sense. Don't let that go over your head. 1131. So there's something about a lot of you guys unifying with your closer selves at this time. When I say closer selves, a lot of that is representing the real backing behind you. So your ancestry is very significant for a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys are breaking generational timelines or generational patterns that accrued in different timelines of your families. And so connecting with your ancestry is very opportune, especially if you want to create grand changes in your family, because they'll know where the dots are stuck at, where their wires are tangled at. And so that's significant, because I've had to do the same thing with my family. I've cleared my ancestry of the karma that would have had us all in early departures, right? A lot of us grow up in certain bloodlines to where certain things are just fated to happen because of a recollection of experiences that we keep choosing, right? Especially a lot of you guys are born into divine lineages, or your birth, or something about what it is that accommodating with you. A lot of you guys have multiple beings in your family that have soul history. And that accommodation is what sets that divine lineage apart, because that's what it now is. That's what it now is. Because you're here to walk a line that may be unraveling those wires to set apart a different gap. When I say a different gap, a separation from an old time of experiences or an old recollection of experiences that's maybe running through your bloodline, right? A lot of you guys are here to kind of set yourselves spiritually apart for maybe more generations to come. It's kind of what I'm getting. I think I'm gonna end off on that point. If you need a personal with me, hit up Shamika-san with a C and Shamika@gmail.com. I'm doing those past life readings, ancestral activation readings as well. If you're interested, shoot at my email, because I don't think I've included pricings on official sites and things like that. Either way, I appreciate your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. I've got 3 partnerships available in the description. If you're interested, I gotta get this Duolingo thing together. You know, a lot of times they really if you don't get back to them quick enough, they'll never hit you again. But I've been kind of busy. I've been having so much shit going on. But either way, just babbling a little bit. Either way, I'm finna get started on the next one. I appreciate all the love and support. I'm sending y'all so much love and ashe. It's your boy Justice. Peace out.